What is going on, guys? Coach Joe here at the Lion's Den, and this is going to be day 4 of my current programming block. I'm putting out day by day what I've been doing for this block, and then I'm going to release the program for you guys to try it. You know, maybe it'll work for you, maybe it won't, but if you're interested to see what I do, you can watch these videos, and then if you want to try it, you can get that program. It's going to be a limited time offer. But I want to get back to doing a different format video where I'm just sitting in the office, going through the video footage, giving you guys some thoughts on what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. So let's dive right in onto the training session. Oh, make sure you meet Bob, subscribe to the channel, okay? Go down there, click subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and share it with all your friends and your family, especially your grandparents, because they need to be jacked and old. All right, day 4 is primarily going to be a pulling and pressing day. So the first movement on our list is going to be trap bar deadlifts. And we actually did trap bar deadlifts in the previous training block, but we did low handle trap bar deadlifts. So it just made the movement harder because we're pulling from a lower position. So all you have to do is flip the handles upside down. And if you guys didn't know that, there are 2 handle options on trap bars typically. A high handle, which is the regular handle that most people will pull from, and then the low handle if you just flip the bar over. So in this block, we went back to high handle. And honestly, just talking to my training partners and I, we've just been really enjoying the trap bar. And we also like it because we're not doing tons of squatting and leg work, but this allows us to kind of get that hybrid in of a pull and a little bit of leg as well, because when you do the trap bar, you're using those quads a little bit more than you typically would for a conventional deadlift. So I just think there's a nice carryover there. And like I said, overall, it motivates us to train more because we like the movement. So for the rep scheme for this, we had 5 at 7, 5 at 8, 5 at 9. And for those of you asking what I mean by 5 at 7, 5 at 8, 5 at 9, is where you're doing 5 reps at an RPE 7, 5 reps at an RPE 8, and 5 reps at an RPE 9. So if you don't know a lot about RPE, I would suggest watching Alan Thrall's videos or even Calgary Barbell. They have some great videos out on RPE training, and I'll put them in the link down below in the description. But you can also watch some of the stuff I put out. But that is just what I mean when I say that. I know there's been some confusion in the comments, so hopefully it's going to make more sense when you guys look further into that. Just a way to regulate and manage and measure our intensity for our training. Now, getting into these trap bar deadlifts, right away off the bat, I remember telling my training partners that I felt great. And the reason I felt great is because the week previous to this, I took a low stress week. So I'll put the link up here for what a low stress week is. But basically, some people do deloads. I do a low stress week, which is just letting my body recover while I'm still training, okay? And I'm actually hitting some heavier weights, but I'm reducing the volume. So I was feeling recovered, and that's exactly the point of what that low stress week was gonna be. And while I was making my jumps in the trap bar, and it was also a higher point in the trap bar, I thought I was going to move some good weight, and that's exactly what ended up happening with my last set. So, you know, just kind of doing plate jumps here. You know, I do a deadlift warm-up, which I'll put another link above for you guys to check out my deadlift warm-up. You can do that if you wish to. But for the trap bar, just, you know, threw on a plate on each side and then just kept jumping up to get into my working sets. Now, my first working set ended up actually being 650. So 650 for a set of 5. It felt great. And on this day, typically, I don't really want to wear a belt or straps, which I do end up doing towards the end. Reason being is, one, because my hands started tearing. And if my hands tear, then it kind of keeps me from training at the intensity and the pace that I want to. So I will throw on straps on some of the top sets if I need to prevent my hands from tearing. And then I also don't like wearing a belt on the second pull variation day, just to help manage fatigue a little bit. But I did go big today, and I figured, you know what, throw the belt on, throw the straps on, gear up. It was my decision to make. You know, you can do whatever you want, but it ended up being a great call for me in this training session. So did the 650, felt good, bumped up to 670 for a set of 5, and that felt really good as well. And I kind of was going back and forth with my training partners on what would be the next move to make. And I was thinking, you know, do I play conservative and maybe go 685, 690? But then once I was throwing those numbers around, you know, now we're in the ballpark at 700. And 700 is a nice number to hit for a set of 5. I haven't really hit it for reps in the past, and I haven't really done much trap bar work, so I wanted to push the throttle a bit and, you know, put 700 on the bar for my last set, and I smoked that for a set of 5. There you go. just overall really stoked for my performance as well as my training partners during that day. The intensity was high, which just can help, the performance for the training day. So if you got good music blaring, you have people that are hyping you up and cheering you on and they're doing well, it's definitely going to have an effect on how you do for that training session, and maybe change the RPE a little bit for that day. So, went for it, went big, had a blast. DK was killing it. He hit 700 for a set of 5, which I knew he was very well capable of. And to be honest with you guys, there was plenty of room left in the tank. But for me, that was a good training day, rep PR with an implement that I haven't used much. So decided to call it there and then do our back down set. So typically when we do our back down set, we just repeat whatever we did for the 5 at RPE 7. So that would have been the 650 for me. So we went back down to 650 and hit that for a nice set of 5. Now, as the weeks continue, those back off sets are going to become more than just one set. So this week it was just one set for the back off, but next week it's probably gonna be 2 sets on the back off. So we're accumulating that volume and trying to get a good strength adaptation as we increase the volume, okay? And eventually that'll lead to fatigue, and that's when you wanna throw in those low stress weeks or deload weeks, whatever, when you notice that the performance is starting to drop and you're getting that systemic fatigue. So just some thought process behind why we're doing what we're doing. But overall, great session. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching those lifts. And I felt great, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens down the road with this trap bar and my strength in general. Second lift of the day was the Z press. Now, we are fully naming it the Zeke press in the Lion's Den because of my dog, Zeke. That's why. Some people on Instagram are like, why the heck is he calling it the Zeke press? I've never heard of that. Guys, I'm making a joke, okay? It's my dog. I love him to death. So I figured let's let the legacy live on. Let's call it the Zeke press. All right, so did the Z press. And the reason that we did the Z press is because this is our 3rd pressing day. And I actually press 4 times a week. So on the 5th day, I do throw in more pressing. But for this day, the Z press is a nice variation that allows you to hold yourself back from going super heavy and accumulating a little bit too much fatigue. Because you're cutting off that whole lower portion of your body, your stability is going to be a lot tougher than if you were doing a strict press or a push press or any of the other main pressing variations. So you just can't go as heavy. So for the RPE for this, we were doing 8 reps at RP 7 across the board for 3 sets. So just picking a weight, that felt, let's just say, medium to a little bit heavier. And there was going to be a challenge, but nothing that we were failing or having issues with, but still could get a good stimulus. So for me and DK, that was 165. Okay, we've done a lot more in the past, but since this is our 3rd day, we are accumulating fatigue throughout the week. So 165 felt good for us to do for our 3 sets of 8. And honestly, it's a movement that we haven't done a lot throughout our training. So that's why we threw it in there. Something new. It's a novel stimulus to us, which we're hoping that's going to give us a good strength adaptation while also keeping that overall fatigue lower. So you can always overload a movement, right? But you can also auto-regulate the intensity and manage the fatigue more by picking a variation such as the Z press where you can't go as heavy. So, just if you're trying to press more and you're increasing your frequency in any lifts, play with those variations, understand what those variations are for, and that will allow you to increase the frequency without banging yourself up too much and running into a wall early on. And I will say on top of that, our hip flexors, our quads, and our hamstrings are starting to cramp up a little bit because we haven't been in that position in a while. So it just added a whole new experience to our training, but we were having a blast. We were kind of making jokes in between sets, keeping it fun, and it felt good to do that movement. I was feeling it in parts of my upper back, my shoulders, like in my hip flexors and places that I haven't felt before, which is good for me, knowing that I'm putting in something new that's going to force a new adaptation. Now, the last accessory movement that we had done, so typically we try to get in 1 to 2 accessory movements in per session. So for this one, we did wide grip lat pull downs. So we were cranking these babies out, doing sets of 15 reps at RPE 7. Overall, just trying to get a good back pump, that wide grip, hit the lats specifically. And obviously, if you've been in strength training, a strong back is going to be a huge base to that pyramid of strength. So we're doing all sorts of variations to strengthen our back throughout the week. And this is typically more of like a bodybuilder exercise, but it is a tail end of the week. So we don't want to be throwing in, huge, large compound movements that are going to fatigue us a ton unless we modify that variation. So the lat pull down is something I really love and enjoy doing. It makes me feel good. It motivates me to train. And 2, it's a way for me to get more volume in for my back and increase my back strength long term. So that's why we do it. 3 sets, like I said, 15 reps, RPE 7, very simple. And then after that, we just hit on our arms pretty hard. So we've been doing arms for the last 2.5 years now, I think, every Friday at the Lion's Den. And typically it's kind of just a cultural thing that's fun to do here. We sometimes throw on really weird playlists and just, you know, do tons of reps. And honestly, it's just more about the experience at this point. And it feels good if our biceps do grow and our triceps grow as well. But for this, we just picked 2 supersets. I'm only putting one of the supersets on the video footage, but typically we'll pick 2, one of a bicep exercise, one of a tricep exercise. We'll go anywhere from, let's say, 12 to 15 reps with each exercise, and we'll just superset back and forth for 3 total rounds, sometimes 4, really just trying to get tons of blood to the muscle, get a good training stimulus. So for this, we were just doing some alternating curls, and then we were doing some tricep push-downs, very basic for today. And then we just did another superset, which I think was some tricep kickouts, basically what we did in the Matt Wenning video. If you guys haven't seen that, I'll link it up here, but check that video out when we train with him. I really liked those like kickouts that we did for our triceps, and then the other bicep was just a cable curl with just a straight bar from the cable machine, and we just cranked those out back and forth. So basically all we're trying to do is have a little bit of fun, make sure our arms are smoked by the end of the session. There are smaller muscle groups, so we're going to be able to recover pretty quickly, and we don't really do much with them throughout the weekend. And then by the time Monday rolls around, we're back on our day 1. We're feeling pretty good and ready to hit it hard. So that's kind of the gist of day 4. Like I said, it's going to be a pulling and a pressing day for the most part. A couple accessory movements. Overall, session's about 90 minutes, okay, hour and a half. So get in, get it done, and then get the heck out. So hopefully you guys have been enjoying this training series where I walk you through each day of my training. Like I said, we'll let the program out for you guys to try it on your own once I have that together. So be on the lookout for that. The 5th day is going to be our typical athletic training day, similar to what we did with John Meadows. So if you want to know what that is, basically it's the same exact thing we've been doing with John Meadows, but we just do some different exercise variations to play around with more of the jumping and explosive movements. But there's always that main squat movement for 4 reps of all the exercises. We typically do 4 or 5 rounds through everything. So I would suggest watching that video to see what we do for that 5th session. And then on the tail end, we throw in some bench pressing and a little bit more accessory work just to get everything hit completely throughout the week. But I'll probably release that video down the road just because we have a couple more days until I'll hit that training day where we're at in the time frame. But if you want the sneak peek, just go watch the John Meadows leg training video, and that's going to be pretty much what we've been doing. And it's very custom tailored to however you want to do it. So as long as you have a squat variation and then you have a couple explosive movements, you go through it 4 to 5 rounds, you're going to have your day 5, and then we're resting 2 days out of the week. For us, typically it's going to be a Wednesday and a Sunday. So we go Monday, Tuesday on, Wednesday off, Thursday, Friday, Saturday on, and then Sunday off. So make it work for your schedule, but that is the overall gist. So make sure, like I said in the beginning of the video, you smash the subscribe button, you give this a thumbs up, you try these exercises out, give me any feedback in the comments section. What do you guys think about these exercises? What do you like? What don't you like? I'm down for discussion. And that's pretty much it. We have some great collabs coming up in the future. We got Juji Mufu, I'm pretty sure, on tap, where he's actually coming here and I'm going there, or vice versa. But we're going to be at both each other's places. Some stuff with the RP crew coming up. Just a lot of good collabs, a lot of knowledge, information. I'm trying to consistently learn and take you guys through this journey. So I really appreciate it, guys. I think I have a jiu-jitsu comp recap coming up. As you can see, my face is a little messed up here. My ear is permanently damaged for the rest of my life. Badge of honor. But until then, guys, stay a lean, mean strength machine. Peace.